Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new edition of Joe's RodShop podcast. I'm your host, Joe van Zyl. Now, before we get started, guys, remember, click that like and subscribe button. Doesn't matter what platform you're on, there's always a like and subscribe button that you need to click, and you get a notification when we actually put one of these out. Now, this episode is brought to you by FlexClub. Now, that is FlexClub.co.za. Now, FlexClub is a new, we want to call it the car leasing system that's available in South Africa. We actually have Tinashe on the show today, who is the founder and CEO of FlexClub, and he's going to be telling us all about what's going on. But now there is a kicker to this one, okay? Now, we are going to be working with FlexClub because I just think it's a great idea, and I like the way it works. So we are going to be doing a promotion. So listen to the show. Go check out FlexClub.co.za. If you like this thing, if this is really what you want, there will be a link on the thing at the bottom here to FlexClub. If you go in or you use the SA Hot Rods code, you will get 1,000 Rand off of the first month. Yes, like $1,000. Okay, so go check out the pricing and check this. And this is awesome because, you know, for guys like me, we travel a lot, and, you know, you've got a car that always sits in the garage for months sometimes that you don't touch, over and above the fun car that you play with. And you don't want to worry about maintenance and insurance and, you know, where do you leave the car when you get somewhere, and then you get somewhere and you have to rent a crappy little car. So what if there was something that's easier? What if there was a system that would have helped us during lockdown for guys who had fleets of cars that had to downscale, and they could have just canceled contracts and not repo cars and stuff? And this is it, guys. This is FlexClub. This is a great new innovation that's coming out. I love it. So go check out FlexClub. That's FlexClub.co.za. And go check on the link, click on the SA Hot Rod link. You'll get 1,000 Rand off of your first month subscription. Check this episode out. And we are live with Tinashe. So how are you doing?
Well, and you, Joe?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me. Excited to be here.
Now, you are part of FlexClub, which is not a gym, by the way. It's a rental, it's a new leasing rental system that you guys have basically created, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right, we call it subscriptions.
Sorry, say that again.
I said we call it subscriptions.
Subscriptions. Oh, okay, yeah. That's a nice way of putting it. Now, where did this concept come from?
Yeah, so it kind of dates back to our careers at Uber. So I used to be the head of vehicle solutions for Uber across Europe, Middle East, and Africa. I'm actually based in Amsterdam, so I'm calling from a distinctly sunny Amsterdam today. But during my time there, I was responsible for building a team that was building products with banks, leasing companies, car rental companies, car manufacturers to increase access to cars for the 5 million plus drivers that were using the Uber app every single week. In my region specifically, we had 1 million drivers using the Uber app. So my region being Europe, Middle East, and Africa, 42 countries, including South Africa. During that time, I think we realized that, hang on a minute, there's something broken with vehicle financing. Is there a better way of unlocking a more seamless, frictionless experience for people shopping for cars, especially if they don't intend to drive the car until the wheels fall off? And obviously coming from South Africa, so I grew up in South Africa, I grew up in Pretoria, the other side of the Boerewors curtain, as they say. I think early on in my career, just like most people, many people that are kind of entering the working world, I had to kind of grapple with the stress of figuring out how I should finance a vehicle and then insure it, and then figure out what sort of service plan, maintenance plan do I need? And then when I decided that later on in my career that I wanted a different car, then having to think through, okay, trade-in, how much do I still owe the bank? Oh my gosh, I'm still in negative equity. I can't actually get out of this deal unless I get dealer assistance or trade-in assistance. So it's a very, very complicated thing and gets incredibly technical incredibly quickly. And so I think we just realized that myself and my two other co-founders, Rudolph also being South African, Marlon being Mexican, that in our home markets, being South Africa and Mexico, we can actually build a better experience, also taking our sort of careers in technology and help the automotive industry build better products. That's really what FlexClub is aiming to do.
So I went onto your website and I saw, obviously you guys have the Uber section and stuff, which I think is great because it creates a lot of job opportunities and that type of stuff. But you guys now have the leasing section where you can actually change the car. So you don't have to drive the same car for, 2-3 years.
Yeah, exactly. So that's actually the first product that we rolled out, was the month-to-month subscription, with the intention of rolling out longer-term offers as well. I think the experience we're trying to create here is that the customer can decide how long they want to be in a car, and they decide that up front, and then know that if they choose the most flexible option there, they can continuously just swap the vehicle. So either they need to kind of change to a bigger car if their lifestyle is changing, or even kind of move to a smaller car if, again, the need is different. That flexibility is what we think most mobility customers need, not just in South Africa, but globally. And we're seeing that trend come through quite strongly from different automotive players around the world.
So does that mean that if you go and you take something small, because you're driving to work every day and it's fuel consumption and stuff, so you take something like a Kia Picanto or something, and you get to like November, December, and it's holiday time, and you can't fit the family or anything in it, can you upgrade and then a few months later downgrade again?
Absolutely. So very easy.
Cool.
Yeah, so we do have customers that enjoy that flexibility. In fact, while I was in South Africa most recently, I was in South Africa now for 6 months. And in that 6-month period, I had 3 different cars, all to suit different times of my trip there. Where when I was spending a lot of time in the city, I had a nice VW Polo that I was using around. But then when I was kind of traveling, kind of see family who are out towards the bush, then I'd switch to a Toyota RAV4. So that flexibility is totally possible for our customers.
But that makes a lot of sense because, I mean, lifestyle has changed. And, we made the comment before we got started about, how everybody works from home and stuff. So there's a lot less traveling going on per month. Or what we can hear, there's a lot less traveling. But like I said, you still get that situation where it's like, oh man, I want to go buy a car. I need a new car for the family. I need a new car. But what are we going to do on holiday? Now I have to fly somewhere. We like to drive. So man, that is a great flexibility. And you guys, your product, but what I like about it is everything included. I mean, it covers the insurance, there's a tracking system in it, the maintenance on the car, everything is included in this. Am I right?
That's correct. Yeah. So all subscriptions are all inclusive, which I think for many customers, some customers kind of understand how to make the comparison to traditional finance. I think a lot of customers will come and say, well, my finance installments are 4,000 Rand. How come this is 5,000 Rand or 6,000 Rand? Because they're not necessarily comparing apples with apples. They haven't then taken the insurance premium that they pay. And if they got a maintenance plan, because not everyone has a maintenance plan, They haven't kind of factored in what would that maintenance plan cost them. And I think what we're showing is that for a number of vehicles on our platform, it actually is cheaper on a monthly basis to subscribe than it is to do traditional finance. I like to use the Kia Picanto as a great example because that's one of our most popular vehicles on the platform. That's a 200,000 Rand car. If you want to finance a Kia Picanto over 60 months, you're looking to pay, and you have a 10% interest rate, you're probably paying in the region of 4,300 Rand per month before you factor in the insurance and before you factor in adding in any maintenance coverage. We offer the Kia Picanto on our platform for 5,000 Rand. And it's pretty clear to see that 700 Rand difference, your insurance premium is definitely going to be more than 700 Rand for most people. And that's even before you've even encountered maintenance. So I think what we're showing here is that if you have, because obviously some people definitely want to buy a car and drive this car for the next 10 years, which we're not saying is a bad thing. Saying if you're not that type of person and you know that you probably want to change your car in 3 or 4 years' time, you don't necessarily feel like you need to drive this car until the wheels fall off, then you're probably better off subscribing than financing, or leasing than financing.
Well, when it comes to maintenance, guys always sit back and they go, oh, maintenance, it's just, service plan. But guys forget there's other parts that comes to service, to maintenance, that's not part of it, like tires and all this type of stuff. Look, the only thing, which obviously the guys that we deal with, you can't go customize it, guys. Okay. you can't take and go throw air ride into it and slam it and put a big rocket sound system into it. But this is more for what we like to call like your daily driver. This is your grocery runner and this type of stuff, on how to get the family and stuff. And it, like I said, it takes all the hassles and everything away from owning a car.
No, exactly. I think also like a lot of people are kind of past the disillusionment of ownership. Ownership matters if it's, if there's like an emotional connection to that ownership, but certainly there's no financial rationale unless you're collecting, antique vehicles or classic cars, which very well may appreciate. But even still, even the emotional connection is, there are people that are the car collectors, which I imagine is a big chunk of the audience here. But if your purpose of having the car is just getting from A to B and it's a mobility use case, putting cash into a car is not necessarily the best idea. In fact, I like to use this example. The average car in South Africa, new car in South Africa, costs between 300 to 350,000 Rand. To put that into context, if I had 300,000 Rand in cash and I bought a car cash, the opportunity cost is incredibly high, because if I put that 300,000 Rand into shares in Tesla 12 months ago, my 300,000 Rand would be worth 500,000 Rand today. If I put 300,000 Rand into shares in Tesla in January last year, that'd be worth 2.4 million Rand. So now I think consumers are waking up to the idea that, hang on a minute, this is not the best way for me to build wealth, putting cash into a car. So I kind of accept that a car moving from A to B is actually a service. And just like every other service, I don't choose to buy the airplane just so I can fly. I pay for the service of using a seat on the airplane. And that's way more economically practical than looking to buy the underlying sort of vehicle.
And you've got the choice whether you want to fly on a little two-seater, or you want to fly on a Gulfstream. That's the choice. Like I said, the concept makes sense to me, and I think a lot of guys are looking to this option because, like I said, that it is a long process. And from going through your site, I see it's easy to use. The only thing, obviously, you fill in the forms online, submit everything, and you're good to go. Do you pick the cars up? Because I saw you guys are linked up with Hertzner and Avis and all this type of stuff.
Yes, so our biggest partners are the likes of Avis and Europcar, which are within the umbrellas of larger automotive groups like Motus and Barloworld. So the experience that we've created is one that is completely online, like you referenced, where we've kind of always said that we want to make this as easy as buying a pair of shoes online. So you come onto the site, you pick your car, complete the verification process. Once you're verified, you make payment, and we deliver the car to your house in under a week. And it's a minimum 30-day commitment. You don't want the car, we can either pick it up or you just drop it off at one of the locations near you. It's that simple.
That is awesome. And so for people who travel, I travel all over the country constantly because I shoot TV shows and stuff. Does this mean you can set up something where if you fly to Durban, you can just pick up a car from there and continue going? Or is that not something that's been included into it?
Yeah, so that's one of the products that we're now slowly starting to test and roll out, is basically if you are subscribing, let's just say you're subscribing for a vehicle in Joburg, like a Polo, you on the same subscription, you can basically drop off the one vehicle at Ora Tambo, you land to Cape Town or King Shaka, and get into another Polo and continue without changing your monthly cost. So basically, it's a car in your pocket anywhere in the country, and I think that's an incredibly powerful product, which one of our partners, Avis, is already pioneering, and obviously that really works well for what we call the nomads that are moving around more often. So I think that's going to be an exciting product to test and see how well it does in South Africa.
Well, I mean, in the area where I live, there's a lot of people that stay here on weekends, but they live in their families live out on the coast, but they work in Joburg and this type of stuff. This kind of makes sense, because you still have, if you've got a contract running in another city or something, you have that car there. You don't have to worry. Get there, release. Sort out all this, sort out everything. That when you arrive, everything is done, ready to go. Yeah, I like the
guess
concept.
the only limitation right now is that every subscription you enter into, or every car you enter into, you're in that car for a minimum of 30 days. So obviously it doesn't work well for, hey, I just need a car for the weekend and then I go back to where I live and then I get my other car again. It's more just, if I'm going to be in Johannesburg for 2 months and then I'm in Cape Town for 2 months and then Durban for 2 months, that works well. But interestingly, I think the majority of the customers that are subscribing for vehicles on our platform are staying in the same car and running that. They plan to kind of stay in that same type of car for the next 3 years. So I think these other swapping use cases are still quite small, but we're excited to see, what other use cases we can serve.
But from a progression perspective, it makes sense to me, because like you said, your life changes a lot faster these days. So it means that you can get into the contract and start off with a Kia Picanto, and within 2-3 months, your financial situation changes. You've got a little bit more money. You've paid off a debt thing or something. You've done something, and you've got an extra $3,000 a month, and you're going, man, I can up my car. I could just
exactly.
And you go on the site to go, I want that one, and there you go. And then the car is available. I think that's brilliant.
No, exactly. Yeah, we think that this is the beginning of a new era of retail, what we call life as a service, where basically your lifestyle just moves as a service. It moves up and down depending on whatever your needs are. So obviously, if you earn more income, or your income increases and you want to change that up, this is not limited to just cars. I think if you look at your average South African's budget, it's the car, it's the home, it's what they choose to eat every single day. All of those things, now with technology, we can kind of move those things up or down. And you're seeing that trend globally. So imagine saying you subscribe for the car, you subscribe for the home. Obviously, subscribing for a home is actually what rental is. How many people actually still rent homes or rent their apartments? So that already exists. And I think there's a massive opportunity for us to really lean into what we're calling the subscription economy, or subscription commerce. Enable people that really believe that for them, it's better to just have these things as monthly expenses that they can just easily change as they see fit. We've recently started testing motorcycles as well. So we added motorcycles, now adding vans and trucks. So with our partners, our partners are now adding more types of wheels onto the platform. So in Mexico, in the next few weeks, we'll be rolling out electric motorcycles as well. So you can subscribe for an electric motorcycle, especially if you're running a business. That's super helpful. So whether you're an individual that's delivering groceries or delivering, packages, you can use an electric motorcycle, which is economical, or you're running a small business and you need a motorcycle fleet. That's obviously quite practical as well. So I think our focus now is we're serving a wide range of customers, from the on-demand worker that's using platforms like Uber or Bolt to earn income, to the small business. We have a number of small businesses now that are subscribing for their fleets instead of putting their house on the line.
But to me, the business side has got a great, because I mean, if you're starting off with a small business and you need a little bucky, or you need a little truck, and you're moving things around, and now your business is expanding, and all of a sudden, I need a bigger thing. Old days, you need to go back to the bank, go find another one, refinance, try and go in, get everything done. With you guys, with the system that you got, you can just go, okay, it's going to cost me extra $3,000 a month. Okay, budget in from next month, we're moving up to that one. And you go from little one to bigger, and you can expand your business. In that, I love that. Actually, that gave me goosebumps, dude. That is brilliant for business. That is good.
No, exactly. We're very excited. I mean, we have quite a wide array of small businesses that are using it now. And for them, they've actually valued how they can move their fleet up and down to match the business cycles that they have. So
Exactly.
I might need 10 buckies in the summer, but only 5 buckies in the winter. So that flexibility is obviously super valuable. Cash flow is everything, and how you kind of gain efficiency is everything.
Well,
so I think this is definitely.
You can base your fleet on your contract. So basically, if you're in construction or anything like that, if you've got a big contract for 6 months, you can up your fleet for 6 months, and then you don't have the worry afterwards of maintaining that. Because I know that was when like lockdown hit. I know that was a big issue for a lot of companies, because they had big fleets. All of a sudden, they had to reduce and cut down, which means they were repoing cars, because they were all handing cars back to the bank so they could drop their monthly costs, which is that are not going to affect through the business and cash flow and all that type of stuff. Or you trying to maintain that top level where the business income was still sitting at the bottom. So where were you guys 2 years ago? I blame you.
We were still too small and still building everything, but now we've got some good momentum. We're fortunate to be backed by some meaningful technology investors across the world, most notably in the United States, that have invested in companies like Uber, other businesses like Postmates and Coinbase. And to date already, we've already injected more than 100 million rand into this business to build this technology. Wow. So I think we expect to continue. Our role in this value chain is to be the technology partner to the automotive giants that have the fleets, that they know how to manage fleets, optimize fleets. That's not our game. Our game is to be a distribution channel for them. I like to use the analogy of, they're like the Unilever that manufactures the Kellogg's, and we are like Pay. So we'll put the Kellogg's cornflakes on the Pay shelf, and help them kind of drive more revenues, because we have a quality of customer that's looking to take their product. And I think that's the exciting piece now, is that using our technology, we can serve many more partners. So we've got car rental companies, we've got leasing companies as partners. Now you even have manufacturers as partners. So motorcycle manufacturers. I mentioned the motorcycles because Bajaj, which is the 3rd largest motorcycle manufacturer in the world, also connected to KTM, they are now launching their subscriptions on our platform.
Oh, wow.
And I think there's a massive, massive opportunity for just more of this subscription sort of wave to take hold in South Africa.
Dude, I love this. I absolutely love this whole thing. So for the guys that want to go out and get more information, it is flexclub.co.za. Obviously, we'll put the links and everything on. I saw you guys have some opening specials and stuff going as well. And to me, look, it makes sense. I mean, like I said, I'm a classic car guy. I'm actually leasing a car at the moment because I'm between projects. It's like one. I like building cars and stuff. And to me, it didn't make sense to purchase something because everything changes from a business perspective, and I have to travel, and what I want to use here is not what I want to use there. I mean, because I do a show, 3 to 4 months out the year, I need something big, and the rest of the time I don't. So it makes no sense to purchase something that big for that period of time. And this really makes sense, because for our classic guys, we love old cars, but they're not reliable. And I don't know if you've ever sat in peak hour traffic in a car from the 80s or 90s. Okay. It's bad. I've sat in peak hour in the cars from the 40s. It's even worse. So yeah. So you need that daily driver. But listen, from the business application and stuff on this is brilliant. I love it. I really love it. So yeah, thank you very much for telling us. And listen, guys, good luck. I mean, I hope to see this thing grow as fast as humanly possible, because I think the business and the personal sector actually needs this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're excited about the potential. South Africans love their cars, which also helps. It's an exciting market, and I think, there's a lot more for us to do. So certainly watch this space. Hopefully, we can continue expand and then come back and talk about how much bigger it's become and how many more members we're now serving across South Africa.
Now you guys just need to start adding fun stuff like Mustangs, you know, and I mean, maybe speak to Roush and those guys about crush upgrades and all that type of stuff. Because I guarantee you there will be a lot of guys that turns around and go, what? Okay, I can afford to drive a Mustang for 4 months. I can eat less, but I can afford to drive a Mustang for 4 months. But listen, thank you so much for being on the show. It's absolutely brilliant. I love this concept, and I love what you guys are doing. Really, it's really good.
Thanks, Joe. Really appreciate you having me.
All right, cool. Thanks, man.